folding some laundry with you guys today. So, hope you enjoy that. Hey, Jack here. Today, I want to talk about the 5 biggest saving mistakes that I've made in my life and share them with you guys. No one's perfect, and that includes me. We've all made mistakes in life, and there's no reason to feel ashamed about it. So let's get to it. Number 1, my first mistake was going into debt. The first mistake I made was spending far more than I could afford. Whether the debt is student loan debt, a mortgage, a car loan, or credit card debt, you have to understand how crippling debt is when it comes to trying to save more money. If you're in debt, I would argue, just try to save for the short term and spend the rest of your money and your attention trying to lower your debt and pay off your debt. The reason for this is because any debt that you're carrying has a higher interest rate than whatever amount that you're saving in the bank. So the first step in trying to save money is really trying to get out of debt first. My mistake was that I bought a co-op studio in Queens for about $150,000 where I put a 20% down payment and I would be taking a $120,000 loan out from the bank. I didn't really fully understand how much I would be paying in interest though. Over a 30-year mortgage, that $120,000 loan, I would be paying another $120,000 in interest payments. So this apartment that's supposed to be $150,000, I would end up paying about $270,000 due to interest payments alone. The reason I bring that up is because it's important to understand the opportunity cost of money. When you're in debt, you're promising your future earnings to pay off something that you're buying today. And you'll have less money in order to save and invest in opportunities in the future. So my advice to you is to get out of debt as soon as possible, or just don't go into debt in the first place. My problem was that I didn't really need to move out and buy that apartment. I just wanted a little bit of privacy and seem a little bit cooler and not be a guy that was still living with his mom. You know what's less cool than a guy that's living with their mom? A guy who has no money and is broke. That's what's less cool. My second biggest saving mistake. I spent my savings. Savings are just that. Money that is not meant to be used and is meant to be kept for a long time. Too often, savings are used to fund expensive lifestyle decisions, like going on a vacation, a diamond ring, a wedding or a honeymoon, or even the down payment for your house. Personally, I was guilty of spending my savings on parking tickets, on expensive toys, on things that I thought I needed. Like when my cell phone broke and I absolutely needed to get a new cell phone because I couldn't live without it. With interest rates on savings accounts being the lowest that they've ever been, 0.09%, there's really very little incentive to put your money in a traditional savings account because it's not doing anything there. Considering inflation averages about 2 to 3% a year, you're actually losing money every single day that your money is sitting in a savings account. With barely any incentive to save, it makes a lot of sense that a lot of us are spending our savings like our checkings account. As good as online banking is, it's really been detrimental to us as consumers. Back in the day, when you wanted to move your money out of your savings account, you would have to go down to the bank, talk to a banker, ask for him to withdraw the money, wait a couple days for the money to be transferred, and then you would actually get the money. But nowadays, you could just do it in a touch of a button. This delay, in combination with the effort involved, would allow us enough time to think over our decisions. Maybe it would be enough to even deter us completely from taking money out of our savings account in the first place. As banks have evolved over time, it allows consumers to access their savings account more quickly than ever before. I urge all of my viewers to commit to never spending your savings unless for 2 reasons. The first one being in case there's a medical emergency or in case you lose your job and you need to pay for your bills. The second one being in case there's an investment opportunity that comes your way and you want to have cash ready to invest and start working for you. My third mistake is that I never set up an automatic transfer into my savings account. Not setting up an automatic transfer from my checking to my savings account was definitely one of my biggest mistakes. I always thought that I would save money at the end of every single month once I saw that there was extra money in my checking account. The problem is there was never any extra money. As the great Warren Buffett once said, do not save, after spending, spend what is left after saving. This means that you should transfer money directly into your savings account every time you get a paycheck and then live off the remainder. You'll figure out a way to do it. So the exact amount that anyone should transfer from their checking to their savings depends on your personal situation. For me, my advice is to transfer as much as you can handle. I try to transfer $500 every 2 weeks the day I receive my paycheck directly into my savings account. Once this automatic transfer is set up, you need to make a commitment to not spending your savings. This automatic transfer will help people reduce their consumption and spending and also help build good money habits. This might be difficult at first, but once enough time has passed, you won't even notice this money that's automatically going from your checking to your savings. The reduction in your disposable income will teach you to live a more modest life and even help you make better lifestyle decisions. After a while, once I automatically set up this transfer into my savings account, I didn't even notice that I was missing this money. After all, how could I miss money that I never had? Alright, my fourth biggest saving mistake. I paid for other people's skill. This is a general topic that can be interpreted in many ways. I'm referring to the most basic tasks in life that we outsource because we're too busy or lazy to do it ourselves. To be clear, I'm not saying that everyone should go Google their own ailments and become a doctor instead of actually going to a real doctor. There are some things that are worth paying for. When we begin adulting in our journey of life, we begin to think we deserve things. We can't be bothered to do menial or boring or mundane tasks that we can simply pay someone else to do. The main task we outsource is cooking. Stop eating out or ordering delivery. Learn to cook and cook at home. By cooking at home, you'll save a ton of money and live a healthier lifestyle. Cooking at home has a high upfront cost when you buy the pots and pans, the knives, whatever herbs, spices, or sauces that you need. But once you have all of that stuff, cooking costs a fraction of what it costs to eat out or even eat at places like McDonald's. Here in New York City, eating out costs anywhere from $8 to $12 and ordering in costs even more. But when you cook at home, an average meal costs anywhere from $2 to $3. If you manage to cook all of your meals 3 times a day, every day for a year, you'll end up saving $5,000 to $6,000 on average. That's a lot of money. Cooking food was not the only thing that I outsourced to other people. I've played plenty of professionals for other things. I remember a time I called a plumber into my house and I paid him several hundreds of dollars for what looked like putting glue around a leaky pipe in order to stop the pipe from leaking. There wasn't any new parts, it took under an hour, but I was charged, $300 to $400 for that service. So instead of buying that glue or that new piece for just a few dollars, I spent 100 times what was needed for a professional to come and fix it. There are a lot of basic skills that we can learn today that will save us a lot of money. These skills may be easy to learn or they might be hard to learn. The more difficult the skill, typically the higher value and the more money you save by learning that skill. For example, we can mow our own lawn, we can cut our own hair, we could cook our own food, clean our own house, fix our pipes, build our own furniture, or manage your own finances. All of the things I mentioned do require effort though, and putting effort into anything is frightening. In the book Mindset by Carol S. Dweck, she explains why effort is so terrifying and why so few of us put in the effort to do the things that we want to accomplish in life. Why is effort so terrifying? There are 2 reasons. One is that in the fixed mindset, great geniuses are not supposed to need it, so just needing it casts a shadow on your ability. The second is that it robs you of all of your excuses. Without effort, you can always say, I could have been fill in the blank. But once you try, you can't say that anymore. Okay, let's get into my 5th biggest saving mistake. My 5th biggest saving mistake was I was too scared to invest. As I mentioned before, if you leave all of your money in your savings account, then you're losing money every single day due to inflation. Investing is an obvious requirement if we're to become rich. It is unclear to me why so few people take the time to actually invest in something. It is easy to use the limiting belief that the stock market is too complicated or investing is too scary, but the hard thing to do is to take the proper steps to start investing wisely. My horror story with investing is when I just started started to learn how to invest. I had $1,000 to invest, and I put it all in a company called Etsy when they IPO'd. Maybe you know of Etsy. Etsy is a great company, but my problem was I didn't understand that IPO meant idiots pay for overpriced stock. I ended up losing $600 out of the $1,000 investment when I invested in Etsy, and I felt incredibly embarrassed about the whole thing and even a little bit ashamed. I was like the vast majority of people, and I really didn't know how to invest. Once I received my first loss in the stock market, I swore off the stock market for years. Until a few years later, one of the stocks that I bought actually tripled in value. Once I saw the potential opportunities in the stock market, I was able to overcome my fear and anxiety, and I started investing in the stock market again about a year ago. And now today, over the past year, I've beaten the market by 71%. And it feels good having my money work for me. The fear I felt that drove me away from investing altogether and leaving my money in my savings account was my biggest savings mistake by far, because I missed out on 2 years of great gains. Out of all of the savings mistakes that I've made in this video, I bet most of you guys are guilty of number 5, not investing. Don't worry though, it's never too late to start getting invested today. A lot of people think the ship has sailed, but the best thing about investing is that you don't need to swing at every single pitch that comes your way. You just need to hit the ones that matter. So that wraps up my 5 biggest saving mistakes. Thanks for joining me on my laundry day today. If you like this video, hit that like button, and don't be afraid of hitting that subscribe button. After all, it's free. Who doesn't like folding laundry?